Hi guys, Frank here with Build Your Own, and today we're here at the Western Antique Airplane and Automobile Museum in Hood River, Oregon, which is about 1 hour east of Portland in the beautiful Columbia River Gorge, the windsurfing capital of the world. Here at the Western Antique Airplane and Automobile Museum, they have over 100 antique airplanes and more than 100 cars, plus motorcycles and Jeeps, and they all run. With one of the largest collections of working antique planes and automobiles in the country, Western Antique Airplane and Automobile Museum is a must-visit for plane and automobile enthusiasts. Dedicated to the preservation, operation, and education about planes and automobiles, Western Antique Airplane and Automobile Museum prides itself on being a living museum with one of the largest collections of working antique planes and automobiles. Western Antique Airplane and Automobile Museum not only restores the exterior of the planes and vehicles they acquire, they also restore the engines inside and out. All right, guys, we're here at the Western Antique Airplane and Automobile Museum here in Hood River, Oregon, and wow, it's a really big facility. They say they have 3.5 acres of indoor facility that has all their cars and planes and everything. Real quick, before we get started and go inside, I want to remind you to check out my website, where I'll be posting a complete photo gallery of today's visit. I'll put a link down in the description below, as well as a link to the Western Antique Airplane and Automobile Museum's website. Here we are, we're inside. We haven't paid yet, but wow, they have a really cool gift section. A lot of memorabilia and automobilia, t-shirts and stuff like that. Super cool hats with their logo on there and everything. Very nice. We even got some Christmas ornaments with some Christmas music playing, bandanas, books, coffee mugs, toys, games, all kinds of stuff. Oh, look at all those little die-cast cars over here. Now this is the kind of stuff I like. This is cool over here. Very cool stuff. Maybe I'd take that Dodge Viper right there. Yeah, got a little Shelby, Audi R8, Lamborghini. Very cool, very cool. Look at the plane that's they got on the ceiling here. Got some old airplane wings on the wall back over there. Very, very cool. All right, so yeah, we haven't even really gotten inside yet. So let's pay and then go check everything out. So we paid and we talked to someone very nice at the front who gave us all kinds of information. We've got a couple of hangars here. So this hangar here, we've got some pre-war stuff here, and then there's another hangar that's further out. And then we can cut through that hallway down here and get to some military vehicles and some other things like that. So I figure, well, we just walked through the main door here, and say that we just walked through the main entrance. We're just gonna kind of go, I think, this way. All right, first car we've got here is says 1907 Runabout, everybody's motor car manufacturer. All right, we got a 1910 Brush Runabout. Got a lot of little kids kind of toys and stuff down here. A stroller, a tricycle, things like that. Across from that, they've got these, well, these airplanes here that are kind of cool, right? 1932 Sky Scout here. Yeah, I don't know a whole bunch about planes, but they're interesting. Got a 1919 Ford Model T Speedster. That was the fast stuff from back in the day. A lot of planes back here. Got a Ford, early Ford V8. That must have been a Ford Flathead V8 right there, surely. Here's 1936 Aero F. All these planes, most of them have a plaque on there, let you know what kind of planes they are. Wow, you got to think these things had to be scary to ride around in. They're pretty small, and boy, the wind just had to take these things all kinds of directions. Here's a 1940 Cessna right there. Got this motorcycle. It says a 1923 Henderson Model K Deluxe. Pretty cool. And don't forget, apparently all the planes and motorcycles and cars in this museum, they all run. So this motorcycle runs. Vehicle out. This says a 1922. I can't even really pronounce that word. It's some kind of Model 58 touring car, 5-passenger touring car. It's like a two-tone brown and beige. Kind of interesting. Got the wooden wheels on there, right? We thought this one was a little bit interesting. We got this car here, and you can see the windscreen actually covers your whole face. Where this one right down here, this little speedster, this little Model T Speedster, which I guess is sort of kind of like this Model T Speedster. This one's a 1919 over here. This one, they don't tell you what year it is. But yeah, I guess it does have that one just single round little windshield right in front of the driver. And I guess I hadn't noticed it, but this one is set up the same way. That's kind of cool, isn't it? Nice plane here, 1937 Model Coupe 110 Special. Beautiful looking plane. These things look in nice states of condition. All these planes, the museum's very beautiful, very nicely kept. And seeing that I don't know a whole bunch about planes, let's just kind of walk down and look at all these planes. We'll stop at ones that might seem interesting, right? We saw that motorcycle, and we've got this plane here. What I really like about these planes, I love these gorgeous wood propellers. I mean, they're just absolutely beautiful. 1939 Porterfield. I've noticed that all these vehicles, most of them have some type of oil pan underneath them. Most of them have some type of oil pan underneath them. Some of the oil pans are dry, some of them are not. Here we got a 1918 Hell Scout airplane engine. This engine makes between 100 and 125 horsepower. It's a really big engine to make just that little bit amount of horsepower. Huge propeller, another gorgeous propeller. All right, here's another Ford Model T, 1926 Ford Model T Coupe. That's a sidecar. It's got a Briggs and it's got a 1935 Briggs and Stratton engine from a washing machine in it. That's pretty cool. It looks in good shape. I bet you it runs really, really nice. I'd like to see that run. Airplane, I think, is very beautiful. I love the colors. Love that propeller. It says it's a 1940 Rearwind Cloudster. Right? Makes 120 horsepower, this thing, and it has a cruising speed, it says, of 120 miles an hour, and it weighs about 1,140 pounds. Here's another Ford Model T. This one's a 1923 Coupe. Yeah. I think I might like the Speedsters a little bit better than the Coupes. Get a shot of the interior. All original, of course. And do note, the keys are in it, even complete with skeleton keys. There's even skeleton keys on this thing. There you go. Here's in very nice condition, mind you, a 1925 Ford Model TT truck. This is in actually very good shape. This one looks really, really, really nice, actually. Let's take a look on the inside. Let's see. Yeah, keys are in that one, too. It's nice. This one's nice. Got a couple of bicycles in the back. Look at this parachute basket right here. This place is really, really cool. It's kind of got a collection of a gentleman named Terry Brandt. He started this collection over 50 years ago with airplanes and motorcycles, and you can see that this was just his love affair, and it's super cool. And even if you're not necessarily into the planes, there's a lot of great ones. There's some cool gliders down here. Super interesting. Let's keep on looking. I think I saw a car that we got to check out. 1936 Cord 810 Westchester sedan. Very nice. Looks very original, right? Surely probably unrestored. It looks great. That looks pretty cool. It's got the oil pan underneath there. Nice car. Very, very cool car. Maybe it did go through some restoration. I take that back. We've got a placard here showing that the car has gone through, yeah, some extensive restoration work. They don't say when, but yeah, we can see there's definitely some documentation of that plane looks. I'm not sure if you call that a bi-wing plane because it's got the wings up top and the one down below. If it's not, sorry about that. Like I said, don't know a lot about planes. They're just kind of interesting. Love the propeller on this one. Looks to be an aluminum propeller. It's gorgeous, right? This one's a 1931 Franklin Sport 90, and it's got a cruising speed of 95 miles an hour. Older cars over here. Check this out right here. A 1926 Dodge Brothers Coupe. I mean, this thing had a wood steering wheel. This is the original kind of wood steering wheel, wood roof. Really cool. Wood wheels. What do we got here? Here's a 1924 Humpmobile Model 12R. It's a touring car. It's a pretty big car, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Definitely. They got something else over here. This looks like some kind of truck. This is a Model TT truck. Definitely not as clean as the one we just saw, for sure. And then over here we've got another Ford Model A Roadster pickup. So the Model A, I don't know, was the Model A little bit bigger than the Model T? Seems like the engine area where the motor goes, you got a lot more motor potentially under the Model A than you do under that Model TT. Can you imagine riding around in these things back in the day? I mean, it's cramped in there. I mean, cramped. It's very, very small in there. Here's a beautiful car. 1935 Packard Model 12 Coupe Convertible. Yeah, that stands for 12 cylinder. Packards are very nice cars, and I think they're quite collectible. I'm sure this car is quite collectible. Flip up seat in the back. It looks to be in very, very, very nice condition down here. Very, very nice. Side of this Packard, it's gorgeous in here. The leather and the seats are just absolutely beautiful. The rugs are nice. I love that stainless steel or steering column. It's just absolutely beautiful in this car. 31 Curtiss Wright, like the colors. Guess that would be one of those bi-wing planes. This one's in nice shape. Nice shape. What do we got here? 1922 Ford Model T Speedster. I'm catching a theme over here. We've seen quite a few Model T Speedsters. There's a couple more over there. This one's got a little more body on it. This one looks very cool. This one looks very racy. I like this one a lot. This one might be my favorite Model T. It says 1922. I could see myself actually driving that. Check out the springs on that. It looks like it's got some double springs. Some double springs in the front. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I think so. In here between this other plane here, 1930 Davis D1K. I was talking to one of the volunteers that work here in the museum, and they said back in the corner, we're not there yet, back in the corner there's a lot of muscle cars and things like that. So you know what, we're starting off with these planes, but we're going to end up being able to check out some muscle cars and things like that. So super, super exciting. Another plane here, 1933 Fairchild. Look at this Harley-Davidson now. This is pretty cool. 1933 Harley-Davidson VLE. This is a big bike. Big bike, pretty bike too. It's a very, very nice looking bike. Those saddles are very nice. Matches the seat. It's a really nice looking bike. 1927 Harley-Davidson JD. Now this one's obviously set up for two people to ride because we've got a back seat and a handle for you to try to hold on to if you're going to ride on the back of this bike. This airplane right here, this thing's absolutely gorgeous. It's big and it's very nice. What I like about some of these airplanes is some of them just look to be in a very nice state of restoration. And like I said, they all run. They all run. So yeah, let's work our way through these airplanes. Check these airplanes out over here, and they've got a few cars intermingled in with some of these airplanes, and like they've got some of these cars over here. So let's get around to the other side of here because they've got plaques on all these so we can see what kind of cars these are. This is a 1927 Moon Brougham. That's what that is. We've got a 1923 Locomobile Model 48 Sportive. Kinda nice. Is it more fun than that Ford Model T Speedster that's back there? That's one that's sitting back there? I don't think so, because I really like that car. Look at this Chevy, 1918 Chevrolet police car. That's a Chevrolet police car from 1918. Here is a 1917 King 8 Model EE. Another big, huge touring car. Yeah, looks like it might be a 6-cylinder or maybe I'm not sure what size displacement engine that is. Maybe I should take a peek. V8 engine with a self-starter. Back of a plane stuffed in right here, and right next to that other vehicle that we were just looking at over here, we've got this 1915 Overland Model 882 touring car. The touring cars are always super long, really big in the back. Always seemingly very comfortable. Huge wheels on that thing. What else do we have here? We've got some clothes of the period. We got a 1913 Rio, the 5th touring car. This one's certainly smaller than the one we just looked at. Hood up is a 1909 Franklin Model D. It's got the hood up on it so we can actually take a peek at this little engine down here. Wow. Wow, that actually runs. It doesn't even look like any kind of modern engine that we see today, does it? And the electrics are very, Very basic, just a couple of wires on that firewall back there. Very basic, as are the lights and everything. Got the brass lights, and yeah, 1909. They just really started making cars. I've said many times, I don't know anything about airplanes, but this one here is absolutely beautiful. It's got this plum color, and the wings are like two-tone colors. It's got a plum color and this blue color under here. This one's really, really gorgeous. Got a lot of information on this particular plane. It's a 1935 Waco YPF. Says its cruising speed was 135 miles an hour, top speed 150 miles an hour, and this plane weighs 2,650 pounds. It's absolutely gorgeous. The engine, this one's certainly been restored. Look how beautiful it is in there, and the propeller. This might be my favorite plane. But then, wow, look at this one right here. Whew, that's pretty exciting. 1928 Waco ATO. So even though I don't know anything about planes, I think I like these Waco planes. These are very nice. Look at the engine on that. Amazing. They say Waco wins again. So these guys must have been made some pretty major planes back in the day. Here's a 1932 Waco UBF. Good looking plane. Yeah, the Wacos, I think I like them. Definitely. Now, what's up with this one right here? There's a 1940 Waco UPF 7. All these Wacos are in very good condition. Here's a very old plane right here. 1917 Curtiss JN4D. Very old plane, right? This was obviously around from the war, the first war. And yeah, I guess I'm glad I didn't have to fly in this plane. Okay, so here's that 1917 Curtiss, and then I'm walking around trying to check out some of these other planes now. Here's one that, you know, I definitely remember having the toy version of this airplane here. This one looks pretty amazing. 1916 Sopwith Scout. Yeah, look at that. World War I, totally. Rotary airplane engine, they say. And then look at this over here. Look at this thing right here. I mean, look how long the wingspan is. You got an engine that's sitting back here in the middle. You got the radiator. You got some propeller on the back. And then they seem to think that you're going to sit right here with this thing in the back of you. You're going to sit right here, and you just have a wire to steer by wire, right? And all these foot controls. This thing looks sketchy at best. The best place for this plane is on the ground, I think. Boy, what didn't they use the Model T for? I mean, it went from a truck, a speedster, you name it. Now here it is as an Army ambulance vehicle. 1917 Ford Model T Army ambulance vehicle. So they had this little, looks like World War I kind of section here with planes, and definitely a motorcycle of that time period. Oh, this one's an Indian. Super cool. 1912 Indian Model D. And check it out, they even have a picture down here. How cool is that guy looking? They're looking pretty hard, aren't they? Now that one, now was that fitted with a second seat and with some handles? But on this version, we do not see those handles or the second seat. Back to those Wacos. So we were checking out all those Wacos. You kind of see those Wacos here. These Wacos are super sweet, and for somebody who knows nothing about airplanes, especially old ones, they're just gorgeous. So we already checked out all these Wacos here, but there's more of them over here. We got this Waco right here with a small version of it. Look, it's got a baby version of this airplane here. Now this Waco with its gorgeous propeller is a 1933 Waco UIC. And then we've got another one here. This is a 1931 RNF. And then we've got another Waco down here. Now what's this one? This was a 1930 INF. And then there's just one more down here at the end. This green one. So let's go take a look at that. Seems like the last Waco they have over here is this 1932 UBA. This one's nice. Still don't think it's better than that purple one. This very purple one over here. I know we already looked at it again, but this one, and because this is a better shot, you might be able to see the color and the lighting and the pinstriping. That one is just particularly attractive. I do like that one. I also like the black and red one that we took a look at that was just on the other side of it. What I tell you is there no end to the variations of the Ford Model T. Now here's a we just saw the ambulance version an Army ambulance version. Now here's a Model T that's a snow conversion. It's got skis on the front. It's got tractor wheels on the back, so this thing can get in the snow. That's actually pretty cool. Here we've got a nice shot of a 1930s Curtiss 170 horsepower engine there. Right, these are all air-cooled engines. Look at this airplane right here. All right, or is it more of a glider? I'm not really sure. It's got some kind of engine up on top here. You might know more about these. If there's at any point that you might be a person that's in the airplanes and you might know some information that I might have missed, feel free to leave a comment down below. It'll be very helpful for me and others who might be watching the video. Here's a 1931 Spartan. Very cool. Got the little planes down here. Look at this plane right here, 1938 Piper. Now here's something I like though. You know I'm into the cars. I got a car channel. 1928 Ford Model A Speedsters. I think I like the Speedsters. I don't know if I like it more than that one Model T Speedster, but this one's kind of cool too. More planes next to that Speedster. Look at this thing down here, and whatever it does, I guess. Wow, are you serious? It would like carry people by bike if it needed to transport people. That's kind of interesting. We got another plane over here, 1931 Buell. And then we got a kind of a beautiful car. I like the paint color. Let's just say that. We got a beautiful paint color over here. Now, what kind of car is this? I'm not sure what kind of car it is. This is a 1932 Willys Overland Model 690. Planes and things that we have. Here's a 1932 Dodge flatbed fire truck. Looks pretty cool. And then we've got a 1921 Chevrolet Model 490 touring car. Paint looks in pretty good condition. All right, it's in a state of, oh, they're probably still working on it, but the paint looks pretty good. And we got a 1927 Willys-Knight. A 1927 Willys-Knight. Also pretty cool.
The Willys-Knight engine, instead of having regular valves for your intake and exhaust, it has ports, and you see it's called these sliding valves, and when the engine fires, these will open, these will close, and it was much more
very unique for the time.
It was different. Only problem is it used up a tremendous amount of oil because these leaked a lot.
Gotcha.
And you could always tell when a Willys-Knight was coming down the road because of a big cloud of blue smoke behind it.
We had taken a look at this Sopwith plane here before. This is notable plane, a very famous plane. This gentleman is going to tell us a little bit more about this plane, which is awesome.
Explain about the engine on it.
Okay.
Most airplanes, the engine, the propeller rotates around a shaft, and your pistons are stationary. Well, this one, the whole engine rotates.
Oh, the whole unit.
The whole unit rotates. It's a rotary engine.
Packard here. This one's a 1929 Packard Model 626 Sport Coupe. That is very attractive. I like that. That's very, very nice. Moving on, what do we got? We got a 1929 General Airplanes Aero Scout, or Aristocrat. I'm sorry, Aristocrat. That's nice. I got a couple of Indian motorcycle. Well, one Indian motorcycle, 1938 Indian 4, nice, and a 1924 Douglas. And we got a few more planes here. Oh, some more Wacos. Here's a 1929 Waco. Here's another 1929 Waco. Oh, here's a 29 B Runner Winkle. Right? Haven't heard of that one. We haven't heard that name. Oh, I was talking to the gentleman that's been going around. He's a volunteer here, and he was saying many of these planes are one-off, or they're only made a few of these planes. And like I said in the beginning, he said most of these planes run and they are airworthy. Got a lot of planes in this building. 1931 Taylor. Here's a sled, an old vintage snowmobile that's super cool. Here's a plane on some skis, probably so it could take off in the snow. Super cool. I like that. We got a series of little planes here. 1937 Taylor, little miniature version of that plane. Here's a 1940 Piper. Sometimes I have to admit, as a layman not knowing much about planes, I look at this one and it's a Taylor and this one's a Piper, and they almost sort of kinda look the same. But here's something I do know about. Here's another Model T Speedster. All right, this one's a 1927 Model T Speedster. This one happens to be missing the little glass windshield in front of the steering wheel. Right, here's another Piper Airplane, and this one is another Piper Airplane. I like the orange. It's a 1940. And then what do we got over here? This car right here is a what? 1940 Ford Deluxe business coupe, looking quite nice actually. Over here, now here's the deal. We just kind of covered this whole hangar right here. We just kind of covered all the airplanes and cars in this hangar. Now we come through to this other area here, and we're going to kind of take a look at all these airplanes. Look at these planes. There's some cars, and all in the back there we've got some older cars and some more planes. So we're going to actually take a look at all of them, and I think maybe we'll start over here. Wow, got a lot of planes here. I'm impressed with this facility, how clean it is, how nice it is, how everything's displayed, and it's just very, very impressive. Like I said, if you're in the Portland area and you're into planes or automobiles, or you just want to come someplace cool, you got to come down here. Here's a 1937 plane. Here's a 1945 Aeroncas. Here's an engine. Here's a 50 horsepower engine from the 1930s. Here's another one of those Aeroncas planes. Right, here's a plane that just shows the skeleton, just the skeleton of that plane, and you got to put the skin and all that over that plane. Yeah, so I guess these planes might be in some state of they're still working on that, and maybe they're going to just leave that like that. Not really sure. So I guess all these planes are Aeroncas or Aeroncas, if I'm saying that right. Forgive me if I'm not. So they got a whole section of their planes over here, and then they got a plane down here. This looks like it would have been like some kind of passenger plane or something like that, all the way around here in the corner. Are they working on this plane? Looks like they might be working on this plane. They got the shaft all taped up and everything. This is a 1937 Fairchild F-46 airplane, first all molded wood airplane made entirely by Duramold, by the Duramold process, apparently. So yeah, interesting airplane. Maybe they're working on the restoration, because like I told you, they do work on the restoration. They fix them up on the outside of these planes and the cars, and most, if not all of them, run. Our 1927 Chevrolet Outlaw dirt track racer, tucked in here with some other airplanes. 1927 Heath, which is interesting. Like the nose cone on this 1929 St. Louis Cardinal C2. Nice plane. It's a nice looking plane. This one's also very attractive looking. 1938 Fairchild. That's a very attractive looking plane. And the wings are up high. Like I said, normally the wings are all down low on the plane. On this plane, they're up high. On that plane, they're up high. Here's a nice plane. 1937 Ryan. Right, that definitely looks like a fighter plane there, doesn't it? That certainly looks like a fighter plane. Here's a plane with a huge engine on it, 1929 Monocraft. Right, we already saw this Chrysler Model E80 Imperial Cabriolet, or if we didn't, here it is. Right, it looks to be a touring car for sure. Touring car for sure. Here's a 1930 Hudson Super 8. They got the window down. Let's take a peek inside. I don't know if you can see in there. It's kind of dark. Oh, look along this wall. All these model airplanes along the wall. Pretty cool. You see that? All these model airplanes along the wall. This place is just cool. There's no way that I can cover everything that they have in here. Look at all that. Very, very impressive. What do we got here? 1932 Pontiac four-door sedan. I like Pontiacs. I wish Pontiacs were still around, actually. What do we got here? 1928 Willys Overland Whippet. That car is called. And then we've got some other planes down here and a couple of cars tucked in down there. Here we got a 1918 Curtiss 90 horsepower engine. We got a 1929 Brunner Winkle. This is kind of a good-looking airplane here. What kind of airplane is that? 1927 Swallow. Then we got a 1939 Plymouth two-door coupe right here. It's a 1929 Plymouth two-door coupe. That's attractive. This airplane, very big. It looks very nice. 1931 Stinson Model W. Model W. They definitely keep the oil pans under that one, for sure. They got the 1932 Studebaker Model 55. Regis Sport Coupe. Right? There you go. They definitely like the dark colors back in the day, like the burgundies and things like that. You see a lot of them in burgundy. Here we've got a 1935 Chrysler Airstream 4S. That's tucked next to this really big 1936 Stinson, and then right next to this 1937 Hudson Terraplane in some shade of yellow. Not bad looking. And then we got some other cars tucked in behind them. This thing is really sweet. I like this. This is a 1932 Plymouth Model PB. I'm guessing it went through some phase of restoration down there. It looks quite nice. Here's a 1931 Chevrolet Phaeton. Looks quite nice. 1930 Model A Standard Coupe. All right, cool. And here's an engine out of a 1928 Dodge Brothers Standard 6 engine. 1928 Dodge Brothers Standard 6-cylinder engine. And then we've got a car over here with the Western Airplane and Automobile Museum's sticker on it. Now what's this thing? It's a 1928 Dodge Brothers Victory 6 Deluxe Sedan. Now it says Victory 6. I would assume perhaps that this car may very well have this engine in it. Carrying on with the Fords, here's a 1930 Ford Model A truck. This one's actually kind of nice. I like the paint scheme, and it looks nice. It looks pretty nice. Then we got this huge airplane engine here, coming. It's a 300 horsepower engine, this. So we've kind of looked at this whole section over here already. We kind of took a look at all these planes over here. There's a whole section off to our right over here that we're going to go take a look at, and then we can make our way in the back where they have like the muscle cars and all that stuff. Okay, so before we try to find those muscle cars, let's actually check out the rest of this area here. So what do we got here? We got this big huge plane here. Now this looks like it might have fit a few people in here. This is a 1929 Curtis Robertson Robin. All right, there's a big plane there. What else do we have down here? You just walk this place with me. We got a 1928 Waco. We know that I favor the Wacos. The 1928 Waco. We got a 1929. Oh, I can't even pronounce this one. I'm not even going to try to butcher the name, but it's got some cool colors on it. 2 shades of green, and it's orange. There you go. 1930 Lincoln PTK. Okay. What do we got here? Now this one's obviously a Curtis. Well, it says Curtis. It says powered by Curtis. That must be the engine. But the body says it's a 1928 Alexander Eagle Rock Long Wing that must obviously be powered by a Curtis engine. We've seen some Curtis engines. Matter of fact, here's a Curtis engine right here. Is it the Curtis engine that goes in this thing? Not necessarily, probably not, but there you go. You can see Curtis engine. Here's a 1928 American Eagle 101. Got a very nice wooden propeller on it. And then I think we didn't see this one. This will finish off this little section right here. This is a 1929 Command Air 3C3T. So yeah, a lot of very unique airplanes. I've never seen airplanes like this ever before, but like I said, someone here that's a volunteer said many of these planes are one-off planes, or they just made a few of them. So these planes are rare for sure. What's this right here? 1929 Graham-Paige Model 612. Very nice, isn't it? This car is in a very nice state of condition. Very, very nice. All right, so we've got this car here. We got a few planes over here. This plane's quite big. It says 1928 Boeing 40C. This is a big plane. It says U.S. mail, so this was a mail plane from back in the day, and it is It's a pretty big plane, definitely. Yeah, this is supposed to be what some of the packages and baggage that they might carry. Big, huge engine with the exhaust that comes off the engine all the way down and out, halfway down the airplane. This is a big airplane for sure. One of the biggest ones we've seen, honestly. This one looks really stout. Here we got 1921 Ford Model T Roadster pickup truck. Model T Roadster pickup truck. Here's another plane here, 1931 Stearman Model 4D. Right? I guess this is that plane maybe flying in configuration. Right? They got this plane showing it flying in configuration with some other planes. Here's a 1925 Waco. Now these Wacos are a little bit older. I don't think I like these Wacos as much as I like those first ones we saw, but nonetheless, they're all cool. Here's another 1928 Stearman, and here's a 1933 International half-ton pickup truck. Boy, I guess the pickup trucks have come a long way, because that's not a very attractive pickup truck to me. What do we got here? We got an airway beacon. Here's an airway beacon right here, right? The airway beacon is just like ours on top of the tower in front of the museum. It is a very unusual round dome glass. Yeah. We got a car here, 1930 DeSoto Model CF, right? That's interesting. Okay, what else do we have here? I think we've gone through most of the things on this side. Now this is a beautiful plane. It says it's a well, that's this bike here is a 1930s Express Work. But what is this plane? This plane's very big. What is it? Well, they have a book in the name. Well, here's the plane. It's a 1929 Stearman Speedtail, and they've got a whole, they've got a Speed Mail, sorry, and they've got a whole book on this plane that's available in the gift shop. We saw the gift shop when we first came in. Okay, so on the far end of this area, looks like we've got some gliders. Looks like we got some gliders over here. We got some gliders up high. We got some gliders down low. This says the 29th Annual National Soaring Championships. So yeah, 1920s, 1930s. This is a glider. That's a very cool looking glider too, isn't it? 1943 Mosby 3 glider. That's pretty cool, actually. We got other gliders up high here. That's overhead here. This is a 1930 Waco primary glider. So Waco was a big name, obviously, back in the day. Here's a nice glider here, 1967 Schweizer glider. That's pretty nice. Here they're showing some people doing some gliding, possibly. Yeah, they got a vintage wood glider, hanging glider right here. It's in its own little trailer. All you gotta do is hook up your truck and you can go ahead and pull your glider. This is a 1944 Spallinger glider. So that's cool. We got a few more gliders over here. Here's a 1942. Here's another one. Nice glider there. We kind of missed this glider. That one kind of looks pretty cool. I like that one. More gliders. Here's one up high, made out of all wood. This one, that looks very interesting, and there's just a very tiny spot for you to fit up there. Here's a 1951 right here. Very small places in here. This overhead one is called a 1948 Bolus. Yeah, baby albatross. Look at this wood one here, just huge. The wings are just huge. How did this thing even really glide? This is a 1939 Slingsby. They even had the word kite in it. This one's nice. I love how it's got all that veneer over it. The wood, this one's very pretty. It's very attractive. I don't know how well it glides, but it's very attractive. This one's a 1939 Slingsby. And then over here, what do we got? 1902 Wright Brothers glider. That's up top here. A Wright Brothers glider. And then we've got some vehicle over here. What do we have? We've got an ordinary bicycle circa 1887. That's a bike? I mean, I don't want to ride a bike like that. And then right here, oh, we actually saw this because I remember that that parachute basket. We already saw this 1925 model Ford TT truck. So you know what that means? That means we covered all of the planes and cars in this hangar, and we covered all the planes and cars in this hangar. So we've got another hangar that's way out over there, and that's where all the muscle cars and all that kind of stuff is. And so let's head over there. I don't know how I missed these two cars. This one's really cool. Here's a 1928 Buick Series 126 two-door coupe. That's cool. I don't know how I missed that. And then what do we got here? This one is what is this? Oh, they don't have a plaque out in front of it. Yeah, they probably do. Oh, so this is a 1919 Scripps booth. It's got to be a touring car. Yeah, it's a touring car. The touring cars always have that same general shape like that, with a big back open area like that. It's pretty easy to tell a touring car from back. All right, guys. So we've looked at everything back there. Let's check out everything that's over this way. Apparently they've got a lot more military vehicles over here, and so we can check out the military vehicles. And somewhere, oh, I see them over there, through there, we've got muscle cars. We've got more cars, more modern cars through there. But before we get over there, we're gonna look at all this. We're gonna look at all this. This place is impressive, isn't it? It's hangar after hangar of antique airplanes, cars, motorcycles, you name it. They've got it, and it's very cool. The staff here is super nice, very friendly, very helpful. Here's a 1943 Curtiss, definitely a fighter plane, P4. That's very exciting. That's super nice. Look at this Jeep here, because they did say they had Jeeps as well. Yeah, here's a Jeep right here. Right, I don't really know what the name of this. Here it is, right here. Here's a Ford Jeep. I guess they just call it a Ford Jeep. It's got simple names. It's probably nothing complicated back in the day about these vehicles, for sure. 1943 Taylor Craft. So yeah, a lot of military vehicles here. We won't go through and look at the names of every one of them. Cool planes, lots of Jeeps. All right. Look at this Jeep right here. Got other planes over here. Look at this 1943 Cessna. This thing's humongous. All right. Other planes down here. I want to get over to those cars. I definitely want to get over to those cars, but I want to see everything that they've got in this museum. We've got engines. We've got trailers. What is this? Some kind of generator or something. Got a huge light. So you got a lot of, not only do we have military planes, we got military memorabilia and things like that. So this museum also has a lot of memorabilia of the period. Whether it was here, we can see military stuff. I mean, look at all this stuff. Totally awesome, isn't it? Totally awesome. Look, they even have the shells for this Jeep back here. That's great. Plane right here. That looks beautiful. I love these ones that are all aluminum like that. I just think they look, I don't know, just something spectacular about them. This one's very beautiful. It says it's a 1952 North American. Like I said, there's just so much automobilia. Look at all this stuff of the period, suits, everything. I mean, look at all of this stuff. It's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing how much stuff they have here at this museum. It's absolutely beautiful. Look at this gorgeous Harley-Davidson. This is a 2005 Softail Deluxe. Got a lot of signatures on there. Here's a 1997 Hummer, right? Here's a 1997 Hummer and a very special color scheme. I don't know if it's been wrapped or if it's painted that way. We've got more war memorabilia along this wall here. I mean, this stuff is really fantastic. This place is a time capsule, and it's just super cool. It's just super cool. All the stuff that they have, how neat everything is laid out, this building, everything is just on point. Everything's beautiful. Look at all this. They have all these vintage weapons from back in the day. That's super cool. What is this thing? 1944 Bosch & Lomb 2.5 meter stereo range finder. Wow, look at that. That's serious. What do we got here? Got some kind of armored vehicle right here. It says the M3A1 Scout Car. Right? That's what this is. They got They got the gun in there. They got the guns up top, the guns on the side. Yeah, you're definitely going to be going into war if you're riding around in this thing. Worth taking a look at the walls and video taping some of this stuff, because like I said, the automobilia and the vintage stuff that they just have around is just incredible. I mean, just as far as you just go back and like take a look at this phone, I mean, that's period correct. I mean, this stuff is just, all this vintage stuff is just very, very cool, and it's almost on every wall around this place. Over here we have another Ford Jeep. Here we have a 1942 Willys Americar. We've got this huge plane up here. They've got all kinds of video footage of this plane down here on this plane right here. This is a 1940 naval aircraft right here. That's pretty cool. We got a 1941 Nash. Look at all those little outboard motors over there. That's what I'm saying. There's so many cool things in this museum. You can't even possibly cover it all. You got to come here and see this stuff for yourself. Here's a 1941 Chevrolet Master Deluxe Business Coupe. This thing obviously sat out on the water. What is this? A 1931 Aeroncas C3. I don't know. I can't pronounce that name, but yeah, this thing floats for sure. Got more airplanes. I see more airplanes. I see a nice motorcycle right here. Now, is this a Harley-Davidson again? Yeah, it is. Here's a 1949 Harley-Davidson. Planes over here around this side. We're really trying to get through this room so we can get over to some of the other cars, other modern cars from the 60s and stuff like that, muscle cars. Got this airplane here. This airplane right here looks pretty cool. 1948 Piper. We got some John Deere tractors over here. We've got some bicycles and some scooters over here, which is super cool. Look at all those bicycles. We got electric. We got a motorized bicycle right here. Look at this Cushman Eagle sidecar. That's super sweet. 1964 Bridgestone Street Fighter. That's a really small bike. This airplane, this thing is huge. We're gonna have to wrap around to the other side to see what the name of this airplane is, but it's huge. This car right here, I can see it says Chrysler. 1948 Chrysler New Yorker. Okay, I do remember that name. 1948 Chrysler New Yorker. This vehicle is very long, but it's not very wide. It's very long, not very wide. And what cars are these? We'll have to come around. You may already know. I do not. This one says Chevrolet Special Deluxe. 1941 Chevrolet Coupe. And we got a 1950 Kaiser Virginian. I've heard of the Kaiser Darren, but not the Kaiser Virginian. And what a interesting color. It's like the salmon color or something. Very interesting. Now here's that big plane right here. 1957 Beach. 1957 Beach. This plane is huge. It's a big plane. Here's a 53 Harley-Davidson. Look at this little bike with a little basket thing in the front, so you can ride somebody around. That's pretty cool. Look at this little, I don't know, is this a pedal car of some sorts perhaps? Look at this big beautiful plane here. That's very cool. 1941 Stearman, they call it. Oh buddy, look at those muscle cars there. We'll get to that in a second. That little C1 first generation Corvette right there. Here's a 1951 Hudson Hornet. Here's a 1929 Chrysler Model 65 Coupe. We got a lot of stuff going on here, don't we? Another Piper. We've seen a lot of Piper airplanes. A lot of Pipers. What do we got here? What kind of car is this? This is a 1938 Ford Coupe, and that's cool. We got some trucks to look at now. You know I like trucks, so let's check out the trucks. The place just gets cooler and cooler. Now they got this little section here of trucks. These look kind of rat roddy. If you watch any of my channel, you know I already went to some rat rod car show events. I'm going to put those links down in the description below. I'm going to put some links in the description below to videos I've done that you might like based on you watching this video here. Look at this. This says Coca-Cola rat rod. That's cool. This says 1933 Chevy panel delivery rat rod. That's super cool. Super cool. And it's huge too. We've seen some nice rat rods I have, but these are really unique. What do we got over here? 1931 Ford Model A Roadster. Yep. And then we got this one. I guess they might be working on this one. Maybe. 1919 Ford Model T. At least the chassis. Look at all these cool pedal cars down here. Very cool. And we got some other vehicles over here. We've got this 1911 Overland Model 49 touring car. Here's another touring car here. This one's a 1912 Auburn. And then we got a 1913 Ford Model T. These are all touring cars. Now this one's probably a speedster or something. A roadster. Yeah, here it is. This was a 1915 Overland Model 81R Roadster, right? You can tell by the body. This one here is also a roadster body. This is a 1916 Dodge Brothers right here. 1916 Dodge Brothers. And then we got a 1917 Willys Overland Model 75B. And then we got this thing over here, a Model T depot hack, whatever that is. Looks like some kind of truck, some kind of delivery truck of some sorts. And of course, along the back wall, they got lots of automobilia along the back wall. Oh, wow. Here's the backside to all those other muscle cars. We'll come check those out in just a second. Now, there were a couple of other pickup trucks and things that I saw around the corner. So let's go check those out. Oh, check that out. Look at all that. Those are very cool. This place just has cool stuff everywhere. I mean, the parking meter. I mean, there's just cool stuff everywhere. Look at this case of airplanes, model ships. The USS Forrestal, right? An airplane carrier. Very cool. Cool pictures. That's what I'm saying. They got a lot of cool things on the wall over here. Now, check this out. Check this out. Look at this truck. Look at this truck. Now, you know I love Chevy trucks. You know I have a Chevy truck. This truck is awesome. This is a nice truck. Nice truck. This is a 1969 Chevy custom pickup truck. Looking absolutely gorgeous. Here's a 1957 pickup truck. Very, very nice. We're going to have to look at these things along the backside, too. Here's a 1950 Studebaker half-ton flatbed truck. I guess this was a bread truck. It says it's an international, must have been a bread truck of some sorts. It says it's a 1926 international model SPD 3/4 ton truck. And this was some bakery they had it set up as. That's pretty cool. Here we got other trucks. 1917 Federal flatbed truck. We can see that. We've got this 1918 Maxwell right here. This yellow and red one here is called a 1919 Republic Model 19. And then we have this 1919 Samson. There's a flatbed truck. Boy, you're really out there on that thing, don't you? You got no protection in that truck. Here's a 1925 auto car. Look, and they got a whole bunch of wood back there. 1925 auto car. Here's a 1936 Ford 1.5 ton flatbed truck. Right, dually. A lot of these trucks are dualies. I can see that. They're dualies. This truck here is a 1947 Dodge flatbed truck as well. And yeah, I think we kind of seen those because we actually we started off looking at that really cool, that custom Chevy right there. So yeah, they've got a whole bunch of cool tractors and stuff on that back wall. Let's go take a look. Wow, look at all those tractors. Look at all these tractors. Look at all that. Just amazing. Just totally amazing. You got International in here. You got John Deere, right? You got Caterpillar. You got all the major names and all that. Very cool. And what do we got down here? More cars. Oh, look at that. We got the Volkswagen Beetle. That's what I drove here. We drove our Beetle here today. Got the Volkswagen Beetle. Can't go wrong with that. Look at all this cool stuff. This stuff that they've collected over the years. Cool lunch boxes. I mean, who didn't? I think I might have had that Pac-Man lunchbox. Might have had that Peanuts lunchbox too. Seriously. Tons of cars. Lots of die-cast cars in here. This is the coolest stuff. Like I said, if you're into these kinds of things and you're in the Portland metro area, you're going to be visiting, you definitely got to come down to this Western Antique Automobile, Airplane and Automobile Museum right here in Hood River. Look at that. Got the Richard Petty truck. That's pretty cool. I like it. Got this truck with a little Cobra sitting on the back of that. I like that too. So I said I want to look at the back sides of all these flatbed pickup trucks that we just went through. They got a whole bunch of wheelchairs down here, and we can just kind of see the back side of these pickup trucks. All these wheelchairs. Here's that truck that had all that wood on the back. That one truck had all that wood on the back of there. Everything's just really cool here, and it's just worth getting a good look around. Here's those other trucks. Here's that custom Chevy, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Look at the lights, the tail lights all Frenched in. That's a really, really, really nice truck. A really, really nice truck. I wonder how often that truck gets driven. I should be driving that truck. Okay, last but not least, I think we're off to the section where we got some muscle cars and things that might be a little more familiar to some of us, people like me, because like I said, I don't know a whole bunch about airplanes. It's been super cool learning about them, however, and kind of seeing them and seeing some history of the airplanes. But now we're on to some other things like this C1 Corvette. This one says fuel injected, so they call that a fuelie from back in the day. 1957 Chevrolet Corvette convertible, super cool. Here's a 1957 Studebaker Golden Hawk. Here's a 1966 Ford Mustang Fastback 2+2. Now this got some nice cars back here. Here's a 66 Chevy Corvette convertible, very nice. What do we got here? We've got a 1969 Chevrolet Camaro SS with a matching guitar. This car's a honey. I mean, there's some beautiful ones here. Here's a 1968 Dodge Charger RT. Super nice with pom-poms in the back and everything. This car, super hot. This right here, 1970 Chevy Chevelle SS convertible. Cowl induction. Black. Very, very nice. Gorgeous car. Now this is very beautiful, and I'm not even a convertible guy. Here's a 1963 Chevy Corvette Stingray convertible, and this car is very nice. White, red leather interior. What do we got right here? This red car here is a 1960 Oldsmobile 88. We got a 1961 Ford Sunliner convertible right here, with a huge, looks like it's got a 327 or a 427 in it. It's got a really big engine in it. What kind of engine does it have in it? It says it's got a 390 cubic inch engine making 401 horsepower. It's a little placard down here. And the paint looks wonderful. Here's a 1965 Buick Riviera. That's a nice car. Here's a 1966 Ford Thunderbird Town Landau. Here's, wow, nice car. 1968 Pontiac GTO, super cool. 1970 Oldsmobile 442 convertible. We got a 1936 Plymouth Custom Coupe, looking quite nice. And look at this bad boy right here. This is definitely custom. 1960 Pontiac Catalina Custom Coupe. Let's stand back and get this all in. Wow, that looks like a George Barris special, buddy. That is awesome. Yes, let's look at the inside. Wow, look at the gold around the bezels of the instrument clusters. Very, 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 very cool car. All right, there's other cars to be looked at though, so let's keep going. This car here is a 1925 Ford Model T Roadster Runabout. And then we got another Ford 1929 Model A. Right, here's a pickup truck right here. And we've got some merry-go-round horses. We've got a Morris, is that a Morris Minor, I think it was, or a Mini Cooper? I can't remember if it's a Morris Minor or a Mini Cooper, but we got one of those tucked right back there. How cool is that? That car is very nice. We got a plane tucked in here as well. We got a 1955 Willys Jeep. We got a 1971 Volkswagen Super Beetle, and it's really nice. This Volkswagen Super Beetle is clean. It's really nice. Too bad we can't get closer and look into the interior, but that's very, very nice. We got another plane here. We got this Honda motorcycle with a Mighty Mouse on the side of it, or something like that. A couple other Honda motorcycles. Look at this Honda N600 two-door sedan. That's super cool. Got another plane back there. This is a 1950 Crosley. I never heard of that. 1930 American Austin. 1915 Trumbull right here. And a 1981 HMV. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever heard of a HMV. Then we've got a couple of vehicles over here. 1929 Ford Model A. Lots of Ford Model A's and T's here, huh? Ford Model A, that's a 1929. Here's a 1930. This 1930 doesn't look too bad. Here's a 1927, all back here, looking all good. 1927 Ford Model T Sport Roadster, looking all nice. And of course, we've got our automobilia along the walls. Boy, this would be the ultimate house for me, right? All we gotta do is like put an apartment in here somewhere, and I think I'd be good to go. Vintage sewing machines. I mean, this place is just super awesome. Now, we've pretty much covered everything. The only thing we really need to do is look at some cars along the back wall and look at some of the vehicles that are out along here. So what do we got here? We're looking at the back of a 1925 Ford Model TT truck. Like I said, a lot of Ford Model Ts and A's and things like that. Here at the museum today, at the WAAAM Museum, that's their acronym. Western Antique Aeroplane and Automobile Museum. Here's a 1941 Packard Model 120. It looks pretty cool. Here's a 1961 Avante. Haven't seen one of those in a long time. I remember going to the Chicago Auto Show and seeing one of those things. Here's a 1966 Rambler. Here's a 1960 Studebaker wagon. And then we got another Studebaker here. This one's called a Champion. It's a 51. And we got another Studebaker. Okay, so the Studebakers are there's a Studebaker section over here. It even says Studebaker on the wall back there. This one's a 1947 Commander. This one's also Studebaker. This one's called a State Commander. Oh, and this one had air conditioning. That's air conditioning right there. I'm almost positive that's air conditioning. When the wind blows through that, it'll convert that and blow some cold air in on you. So that's some old school air conditioning. Here we also have another Studebaker. This one being a 1929 Commander 8. They've got some nice Corvettes here. I tell you that. Here's another one. This one's a split window coupe. Is this a split window coupe? No, not a split window coupe. Split window coupe, didn't they only make that maybe in 1 year? Maybe that was 69. This one's a 4-speed car. It's a manual gearbox car, this one. This one's a 1966 Corvette Stingray. Looking quite nice in silver. I like it in silver. Look at this car here. We got a 1956 Packard Clippard. We have a 1966 Ford Thunderbird, though I like the first generation of the Ford Thunderbird. Here's a 1962 Ford Thunderbird convertible. This cool purplish one here is a 1957 Chevy Bel Air 2-door hardtop, and it is looking very nice. It presents very well. Here's a 1955 Pontiac Chieftain. Oh, a 1955 Pontiac Chieftain. Here's a 1954 Dodge Meadowbrook 2-door sedan right here. This car right here is a 1953 Kaiser Manhattan. Now it looks like they did have a car here. That one must be out for a test drive today. Let's see. Here's a 1950 Mercury Monterey. Here's a 1941 Buick Super 8 sedan. Because it's worth checking out all the memorabilia and automobilia that they have, and all these little things, all these little displays that they have set up. Check this out. This looks all cool. Got an old 1927 Chevrolet Imperial in here, and it's just cool. They got a car over here. Are they actually working on this car over here? Do they actually work on these cars right here, or they just have it kind of set up that way? This is a 1920 Willys-Knight. Look, they got all the parts and things like that, your lathes and things that they do to work on this car. Maybe they do work on it back here. Maybe they do. That would be cool. Oh, we do have a couple electric cars. That's right. I was talking to somebody here, and he said they did have some electric cars by Detroit Electric. Here's a 1914 Detroit Electric car. Look at all the electric batteries. Before there was Tesla electric cars, there was Detroit Electric. Here's a Ford Model T Runabout. Oh, here's another electric car. This one's a 1932 Detroit Electric right here. That looks kind of nice, actually. That's nice. Look at this huge touring car. This thing's huge. 1929 Packard Super 8 Phaeton. All right. Then we got this 1927 Willys-Knight. And then what do we got over here? We got a few of these older cars here. 29 Ford Model A. They call it a 3-window. We got a 28 Buick Series 115 right here. And then we have a 31 Chevrolet Model AE 4-door sedan. We have a 1931 Ford Model A right here. 1929 Franklin Model 135. We got a 1940 Ford Deluxe 4-door sedan. And a 1941 Lincoln Zephyr. I think I actually had a Lincoln Zephyr, but it did not look like that. Did not look like that. Here's a 1931 Chevy 2-door sedan as well. You know, amazingly, we've basically looked at all the vehicles here, except for this row of vehicles right here. We're going to check them out in just a second, but I think I just saw an old school jukebox. We're on the back side of those muscle cars we already checked out. Yeah, old school jukebox. There it is. Select-O-Matic 200. Complete from Happy Days and everything. So yeah, we only had a few cars to look at. We've looked at everything in this building, almost everything. If we've missed anything, it's only been a little bit of the automobilia. So we got a 1982 Kawasaki motorcycle. We got a 1975 Moto Guzzi. I always thought that was a cool name. I used to want a motorcycle 100 years ago, and I wanted a Moto Guzzi because I thought the name was cool. Here's a 1927 Ford Model T. That's been definitely the theme here today. There's been a lot of Ford Model Ts for sure. Here's a 1928 Studebaker. That's kind of cool. Here's a 1918 Chevrolet Model 490. Here's a 1916 Buick Model 45. Here's a 1926 Ford Model T in a touring car trim. Here's a Model T in a pickup truck trim, a 1925. Here's a 1923 Ford Model T 3-door touring car. And then this one right here is a 1918, also a 1918 Ford Model T touring car. So lots of Ford Model Ts here. This little red one here is a 1925 Star Sport Touring. That's an interesting little car, isn't it? It is. Here's a 1918 Stanley steam car. Look at that. Look at the engine. That's a steam car. It's a Stanley steam car. And here's another steam car, the 1900 Locomobile Steam Runabout. Yeah, there's all your steam mechanism stuff and your chain drive all down there. All right, guys, that's it. You know what? We just spent some time. We spent the day inside the Western Antique Airplane and Automotive Museum here in Hood River, Oregon. And it was a great day. The staff is super cool. The building is huge, filled with great cars and automobilia, and definitely worth your time to come down here and check it out. I had a really good time. So like I said, I've got some information about this place, and I've got all the videos, all the photos that we took, all that stuff I'm going to put up on my website. So make sure you go check out my website so you can get more information about this place. And I'll also put the link to their website down in the description below. So if you found this video helpful, fun, entertaining, or anything like that, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Other than that, I'm going to tell you to have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the very next video.